All right, I'd like to welcome you all to this next presentation of our AB Walls 3D modeling tools. I'm pretty excited about these new tools, and I can't wait to show them to you. I'll start off by talking why we did it. We've had a lot of people asking about SketchUp over the years, and we're finding that a lot of designers are using SketchUp as a great way to visualize and do quick estimates on how a building or a model might look. And they're getting all this from trends from TV shows like HGTV and the DIY Network, where designers are using this tool to show homeowners what their houses can look like before they remodel them. And it's kind of educating the customers on what the possibilities are for designers to, and they kind of expect it now. If you're spending a lot of money on a project, that they want to see what it's going to look like before they spend the money. So what we did is we decided we're going to make a tool that works with our tools in SketchUp. Another reason we did this is because architects and engineers are using a new way of designing buildings. It's called BIM, and BIM stands for Building Information Modeling. And basically it's a wide sweeping term. It doesn't mean a certain software package or anything. It just means that designers are using models to help them design better buildings, so that they can share a model with, say, a structural engineer, where they can find how they're going to do the structure of the building. They can share it with HVAC people, so they know where the ductwork's going to go within the model. So it helps all of the designers in the world to figure out exactly how to design this building without making changes when they're building it in the field, so they can find problems before they get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to design our tools so it's going to work, and we're trying to design it for these kind of a customer group. So we have landscape designers. They've been asking for tools for a lot of years on how they can show retaining walls to their customers. We found that smaller landscape architects are really a good fit with what we're doing with SketchUp. Most of them already have that installed in their companies, and they're using it. We find that contractors with design services are also really a broad, nice customer. They're also looking for design tools to help with their customers as well. Designers with design services, or dealers with design services, engineers working with BIM, and some homeowners. We have a lot of homeowners using SketchUp already because it's free software, and they can use it for their hobbies or whatever they're using it for in their homes. So the concept, what we've come up with, was we have some really good design tools out there, and one of them was the retaining wall out there in the middle. We started with that one to see how we can migrate this into AB Walls and Courtyard as well. But we're going to show you today what we've done with the retaining wall app. And the concept is we have these great tools already out there, and we have a lot of customers already using it. So what we're going to do is take the information that customer puts into these apps, and in plan view and elevation view and sections and all the different things they put in it, and then we're going to export the information into a file that SketchUp can read. So what it's going to allow you to do is design something very quickly and easily in our apps, and then open it up in SketchUp and open up this file, and it'll draw some of the things you've created in our apps very quickly and easily. So imagine how much easier it is if you're a designer talking to a homeowner in their back, in their kitchen table, looking out the window and saying, can you imagine walking out the door and being able to be so close to your grill and having an outdoor seating area? It just makes it really easy for homeowners to visualize what that means and how that can help affect their lives. They can also say, can you imagine if you had a place to sit down in the afternoon and read a book in the sun, or come back in the evening to enjoy s'mores with your family against the fireplace? So when you start showing them pictures like this, they understand as a designer what you're trying to create for them, and they get excited about it because now they can visualize and see what you're doing, and makes it a lot easier for them. Or look out the window and say, I'm a gardener and I want to have a garden space that I don't have to bend over. You can have a terrace like this so that the homeowner can enjoy his gardening or their gardening, and or have playground for the kids and a place to sit out and enjoy in your yard. So what I want to do now is show you how this all works. So I want to start off, and we're going to do it in a couple pieces. The first step we're going to do is show you how to get SketchUp on your computer. So I'm going to drag this over here. If you go into a browser and you want to download the SketchUp, the easiest way to go is just go www.sketchup.com/download/all. And that'll bring up a web page that has their downloads that you can install on your computer. Now let's talk about the different types of SketchUp that's out there and which ones work with our tools that we're creating. To get it to work with our tools, you have to have the Pro version or the Make version. They have a free version that they talk about that's run through a browser, and that doesn't allow you to use extensions like we're going to use to do our tools. So if you buy the Pro version, has a cost. It's around $650 a year. A lot of designers already have the Pro version installed because they use it as a professional, and they have that already in their office. But if you don't have SketchUp and you want a simpler solution, you can download this one right here, which is called SketchUp Make 2017. For like the last 10 years, they've always had a free version that works with extension, and it's always been called Make. But this is the first year they stopped doing that and then just have the Pro version. But they're just going to keep the 2017 Make version on their website as well. So what you do is download that. It has it in different formats, the Mac OS, Windows 64-bit. You just choose which one you want and install that software. Let me show you what it looks like once you install it. Just open up SketchUp on my screen here. When SketchUp opens, it starts off and it has different templates you can use right here at the bottom. You know, if you want to use feet, inches, or millimeters, or there's different layouts here. But once you pick one, you can just hit the start using SketchUp at the bottom. And that'll open up our SketchUp. All right, so now once you have SketchUp installed on your computer, the next thing you'll need to do is find our extension. And what an extension is think of SketchUp as a open source type of a program, and they've given developers like us at Allan a method for extending their software to do things for just our company. And what they've done is they've called it and saved it into an extension warehouse. So if I come up here to Window and this pull down on SketchUp, there's one called Extension Warehouse. If I click on that, what that'll do is pull up all a web browser with all the different extensions there that you can download. And there's so many of them, it's best if you just type in Allan block at the top. And it'll start filling it out for you, and I just type in 3D modeling tool right there. And then it'll look for it, and it'll pull it up here for us in just a second. And here's all that matches to that query, and I'm going to find it. We're right at the top of the list, so I'll click us right here, and it'll download, open up a web page. It tells us a little bit about this extension. It shows some nice pictures. We also have some videos that show how to use the software. It gives a nice documentation of what the software does and how to use it. And then it gives some information about how many users. We've got 131 users already. That's really nice. So what you want to do is, I've already got it downloaded on mine, but you just click this download button, and it'll download it and put it onto your computer. So let's just take a look and see how that looks. So if I come up to my computer, it's going to be installed in the extensions pull down, and it'll be sitting right here, Allan Block extension. If I click it, it opens up a toolbar, and this toolbar basically has 4 different buttons we can choose. The first one opens up the file that we send you. The next one's favorites. Then we have kits, and then information. So we're done with SketchUp for just a minute. I'd like to go back now and show you how to get the retaining wall app that we're going to use to design our wall that we bring into SketchUp. So if we close down SketchUp, come back over to our browser. If we come over to Allan Block, here's our website. Go to www.allanblock.com. And then if you come down here to Estimate, it's going to show you right here that we have a retaining wall app that you can download in a Mac OS version or Windows, or you can go to the Apple Store and put it on your iPhone or iPad. So it depends on you which one you want to use. They all do about basically the same thing, and they all will send you back the file that you can open up in SketchUp. So depending on if you have a Windows or a Mac computer, just download that and install it on your computer. And then I'll show you here. I've got mine on my computer here. Will run. We'll have to click this one. Here's the retaining wall app. So this is what the retaining wall app looks like on a Mac computer. And we have a nice, in the beginning here, some different applications that you can show your clients. If they want to see like an entryway, you can come through and show them some really nice visual tools to help them see different things that people have done for their entryways. So it has some nice features that you can help to sell your projects. But let's keep this short, and we'll show you how the app works for designing a retaining wall. So if I click this top button, create your own wall, and it opens up a screen that's very similar to a graph paper, and we've got it organized in 3-foot increments. We did it in 3-foot increments because a lot of our salespeople use this with their phones or iPads and walk right out into the customer's yard and start stepping out where the retaining wall they want it in their yard. And they can draw it right on the screen by just clicking on the screen in any location here. You can draw a retaining wall. And if you make mistakes, you have some tools to do that. You can erase the last one you've drawn and put it in a different spot, or you can drag the dots by just clicking any of these grips and move them to a new spot, adjust them where you want. Or if you really want to be precise, you can use this X, Y, and adjust any of the dots exactly to a grid line. So I can make an adjustment and hit a close, and it'll make that small adjustment. So with those tools, it makes it really easy to design what the plan view, or looking over your wall like you're flying over, like a bird would be flying over it. This is the first step. And once we get that design, we can go to the follow the arrow. And then what it does, it takes those points that we just drew on the first step and draws an elevation view. So now we're standing right in front of the wall, except we stretch it out. It's not like it's in 3D yet. It's just like ribbons that we pulled out, so we can adjust how they step up and down. And how we do that, you can hit this Z button at the top, and it'll allow us to make adjustments to the top and bottom of the wall. So right now the grips are set to number 1. So if I make this go down, it's going to make the top of the wall go down a little bit, or the bottom of the wall. See how that works? So then if I go to point 2, I can make adjustments on point 2 and point 3, and then we can come down on this one. So we can make the wall any shape we want. And what's really fun to think about on this is now that we have a plan view that's got points and an elevation view that's got stepping up and down, we have quite a bit of the information we're going to need for a 3D model. but we're not quite done yet. We'll follow this arrow. It's going to ask us some engineering questions. It's going to help us make a better design. First off, it's going to ask what kind of surcharge do we have above the wall. Do we have a driveway or a slope or a level? Let's just say that it's sloped. And we go to the next step. It's going to ask what kind of soil. Soil is important because it makes a difference on how much geogrid and when we need geogrid. Sandy soil is stronger than clay soil, so let's leave it back at clay so we get some more geogrid in it. And this step, we don't want to build retaining walls with all those crazy angles because it's really difficult for the contractor to cut those blocks to make them that shape. So instead of complicating your life, we just take those points and smooth them out to make them as pretty as possible. And so it just makes it really easy for you to just rough in what the shape of the wall is going to be, and then we'll make it so it looks really good on the hillside. We also gave you a quick estimate at this point. It's 69 feet long, and we've used 255 blocks so far. But now the powerful part, if you come over here to this next step, all you have to do to get to your estimate and your Ruby script back is put in your email address, Jeff at Allan Block, and then 55439. And then just make sure that the check mark here is for sending a SketchUp file is checked, and hit send me a free package. And when that's, this one here. And then when that is sent, it gives you a message back on your browser saying you've sent the project, and we're going to be giving you all these things back in just a few minutes. So just be patient. And what's going to happen when you click that button, that information will be harvested from the app and sent to the Design Center in our office. And we'll give you 2 files back in just a minute or two. The first one we'll send back is the Ruby script that you can open up in SketchUp, and it will have all the information about your 3D drawing. The second will come right after that is a PDF file that's going to show you, give you the estimates for how many blocks you've used, plus gravel and glue and everything else. So I'm going to look here on my email and see if they're coming. Right, here's my email. It just barely got this one right here back from the Design Center. If I open that up, what it tells you is it gives you information about how to use it on SketchUp and where to get SketchUp if you don't have it. But right here is the important part. It's got a Ruby script file, and it's right here at the bottom. And what we need to do is save that to our desktop. So the easiest way to do that is right-click on it. Let's move it over here so you can see it a little better. And say, Save Attachment. And I'll say, okay, where do you want to save it? It's on my desktop. And it's always named with retaining walls and then gives a code behind it. So I'm going to remember the one that says 438 at the end and say Save to my desktop. All right, so now I have a Ruby script saved and I put it on my desktop. I come back to my email, and here is the second email that it sent to us, and it's going to tell us more about our estimate. So if I open up this PDF at the bottom, you can save this and even send it to your clients if you want. It basically just gives you a really nice cover shot. It tells you what's going to be in this proposal. The first page is going to have the drawing that we just drew on plan view, and then it draws it for you in elevation view. We do 50 feet at a time, and notice it's put information in there. It's got where the geogrid is going to go. And then on the second page, because it's over 50 feet long, it's got the tail end of the drawing for us. And then it gives us a nice cross section for a 2-foot section, a 4-foot section showing where the grid goes within those 4-foot sections, and a 6-foot section. And then I didn't ask what retaining wall block we wanted to use, so what this program does, it sends you back an estimate for each one of our collections. So the first one is a 80 Stones or an 80 Classic, It'll tell you how many blocks were used, how many caps, 4-foot grid base, how much wall rock, base rock, infill, all that information is all here for you. And it does it for the Abbey or Ashlar pattern as well. So it breaks down how many different block shapes you're going to need. And then the Aztec, and then if you want to use Aztec with a pattern, Dovers from the Europa collection, or Abbey from the Europa collection with all the different shapes. And then we give you also for the Fieldstone. At the end of this, we give you a link back to our web pages where you can get more information about how to install. And then we give you the closest dealers to that zip code that you typed in. So that's what the estimating part does for you. But let's go back to now what this topic we're talking about is about how to use SketchUp. So let me close this out. Oh. Well, quit. Okay. Let's open back up SketchUp. Here's SketchUp. And I have my extension installed, ready to go. So what we want to do to open up that file I saved on my computer is click this box here, which is Load Script. And this is the fun part. I kind of like the estimate. We didn't ask what block you want to use. At this point, you can choose what collection you want. You can pick like Aztec. You can pick, which pattern, if you want a pattern, and then what kind of a pattern you want to choose. But it's real easy to make different choices. So let's just do this first one as a brown blend, and then so this will make it render the way you want. But then here's where you open the file that we just sent you that you saved on your desktop. So you hit the Open File, and you go to your desktop, and we saved it right here. Ours ended with 438. So I'm going to open that one. Takes 1001, 1002, 1003 seconds, and it has drawn our wall for us. So I can hit this zoom thing, and here is the wall we just created in the retaining wall app in 3D. And it only takes 3 seconds to open it up in the software. And if we come over here, it also has drawn us some sections that we can review. If we put the sections on there mostly to help customers understand how easy it is. It's kind of expensive to build a retaining wall, and they want to know what's behind the wall that costs the money. So we're talking about blocks, we're talking about wall rock, infill soil. All these things makes it really easy for the customer to understand it better. And then what's fun is you can take this also, if I select it and hit move, I can move it out of the way so I can keep it, but then I can also open it up again and choose a different. So if they wanted Europa and they wanted a Abbey and they chose a 2-course blend and open up the file, and now we can open up the same file that was just sent to us, which is 438, and 1001, 1002, 1003. It will draw it again for us with a different pattern on it. So this is an easy way for you to help customers visualize what their walls are going to look like in their yards with the different collections that we offer in different colors. I want to also talk about options for installing things. Show you a picture here. Sometimes it's easier to, like this one was drawn with two Ruby scripts that we opened up and put together, and then used an image of a house just a part of a house in the background and put this in front of it, which makes it really easy for designers to visualize what it's going to look like against the client's home. Let me come back into SketchUp. But to add more things to this model, you can always use the next button on our tool, which is the favorites. And what favorites is SketchUp has a 3D warehouse, they call it. And it's got millions of models that people have added to their warehouse. And what we've done is we've come up with categories here, like flowers, trees, potted plants, patio tables and chairs. I'll switch to that one. And we've limited it to a few that we like, you know, and there's 18 of these. And if you ever find one that you want added to this tool, you can just email it to us and we'll add it to the tool. But this way we don't have to search through so many models to find ones that we like. So to add one, like this one right here, I can just click this 3D warehouse symbol and then download it. Pick the version of the software you're using, and it'll put it up here in the downloads. And all I got to do is click on it, and it'll open up in another file. And all I need to do is highlight that, and then edit, copy, and then come to my model I've been working on and go edit, paste. And it'll put it right there on our model. So this is a fast way that you can take an existing model we created with our apps and start adding flowers, trees, all kinds of things to it to make it beautiful. It makes it so with all these extra tools that SketchUp has provided, makes it really easy to build pretty nice models in a hurry. And this last button here is our kits. Let me move this over so you can see it. What we've done is we've added all of our patio packages that we've created, and also elements. If I come into elements, elements are like added things that you could add to your project, like bars, ponds. I go to the next screen. I have grill surround. So if I wanted to add this grill surround here, I could just click this 3D model warehouse, and it's going to do the same thing. It'll say which one do you want. I want to download in 17, and pull over here, and it's up in my there, and then it should open it up, highlight it, edit, copy, and then edit, paste. So here's our kitchen that we just added to it as well. So by using these, it's really easy to come up with a really nice design for your clients to use and view. You might say to yourself, how do I learn, what do I do to learn SketchUp to make it faster and easier? Well, it's really easy if you come in, if you want to learn about SketchUp, is to come into, let's see, I have it here. Here it is. You can go into SketchUp on YouTube. Just go into YouTube and type in Sketchup Tutorials, and it'll pull up all kinds of different tutorials. It'll teach you more about SketchUp. This is my favorite, this Learning Sketchup. It goes by days, and within a certain amount of days, you can go through these tutorials and teach yourself all kinds of things about SketchUp. And so you can be a really good artist with it. But using these tools, it's really fairly quick and easy to design like projects like this. This is one I just created with, here's the elements of courtyard posts that we have, a nice retaining wall here, another retaining wall back here, and a terrace behind that. So using the app, I've created really 3 separate retaining walls, brought them in together in one SketchUp file, and then added these elements to it, and nice patios and chairs and people. and plants, and you can make really nice designs quickly and easily. So that's about all I have to share with you today. If you have any questions, this would be a great time to ask them. Does anybody have any questions? Clifford, you got any questions, or Aurelio? Okay, well, I really appreciate your time on showing you this. Just to let you know that we're working on AB Walls next and the Courtyard app. They should both be done the end part of July. That's going to make it really nice for all kinds of designers out there to really understand what they're designing by seeing it in 3D when they're done. I'm amazed. I've been using AB Walls, wrote it for something years, and it's really fun for me to have it draw something in 3D and see where the geogrid's being placed in the back and all the different parameters I'm putting in. It makes it really good to catch problems that I might not see if I didn't have this 3D program. So I'm really excited about this, and I know it's going to help customers out there visualize what the designers are talking about and get them excited, so they spend the money, sign the dotted line on the contract, and get the projects going. So I appreciate your time, and we'll look forward to more of these seminars. We're going to have some more of this next couple months, and you can always sign up and have another tutorial. Thanks again.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, see ya.